Welcome back to WTF, We Talk Facts. I'm your host, Dr. Machani, an academic internal medicine physician. And today we'll be discussing one of the most strategic ways for international medical graduates, that is IMGs, to build their careers in the US. Getting involved in research. Whether your goal is residency, a postdoc fellowship, or a career in academia, research can be a game changer. With me today is Dr. Suha Soni, an IMG who successfully navigated this path. Dr. Soni, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Machani. It's a pleasure to be here and discuss this important topic with your listeners.
Dr. Soni, your story is inspiring. You have been involved in research and academia for a while now. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
So, my journey has been pretty interesting as an IMG. It's been a mix of challenges, growth, and valuable learning experiences. I am originally from India, where I completed my MBBS, and afterwards I moved to the US to pursue my master's in public health from UT Health School of Public Health in Houston. And during this time, I was so fortunate to work with a startup focused on generative and predictive AI in cardiology and geriatrics, which opened my eyes to a vast potential that technology can bring to healthcare. And transitioning from clinical medicine to public health gave me a broader perspective on how the US healthcare system works, especially in terms of population health and research. And I've always been driven by passion for improving global healthcare accessibility and democratizing research. And this passion has shaped much of my journey. And currently, I'm about to start my postdoctoral research fellowship at University of Texas again, which will give me a very deep insight into clinical research and help me strengthen my foundation in both medicine and research.
That is very inspiring. Let's jump into why you think research is so critical for IMGs trying to make it to the US.
Sure. So I think that research provides IMGs with an opportunity to stand out, especially regarding residency or other fellowship applications. Being involved in research shows that you're committed to academic medicine and are willing to contribute so much to advancing knowledge in your field. It also demonstrates that you deeply understand the US healthcare challenges, which I think the residency programs appreciate a lot these days. Plus, when you engage in research, you're also building up your advanced and a big professional network, a network of mentors, collaborators, and peers who can support you in your future career. So that's how I see it.
Exactly. Research experience can show programs that you have more than just clinical knowledge. It gives you a different skill set, like critical thinking and problem solving, and even makes you eligible for more advanced roles. And it's not just about the clinical side. For IMGs, getting involved in research can sometimes be easier than securing direct clinical experience in the US, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's so correct. And you put it really aptly. Securing clinical rotations as an IMG can be hard, quite competitive, and very expensive. Research, on the other hand, offers a different way to get your foot in the door, and it can also give you very valuable time to prepare for USMLE STEP exams while still building your resume doing research, which is important when programs look at you holistically. So, yeah.
Let's dive into the various ways an IMG can get into research. One of the
Mhm.
most common options we hear about is the postdoctoral fellowship. Could you explain a
Mhm.
bit about what a postdoc fellowship involves and how IMGs can qualify for them?
Sure. A postdoctoral fellowship, and in short, a postdoc fellow, is an excellent option for IMGs who've already completed their medical degree and want to dive deeper into research. These fellowships allow you to work on advanced projects in your area of research, publish a lot of papers, build connections on the go, and they can also give you time to study for your STEP exams. While some postdoc positions might not require US licensing exam, but I would definitely suggest completing your USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 and get ECFMG certification because that opens a lot of avenue for you getting an ACGME accredited fellowship, where The postdoc fellowship does not have any criteria that your step exam should be finished and completed by the time, but it definitely increases your chances. So there's a range of positions to choose from. Just choose and apply to whatever fits you the best, I would say. So,
That's
yeah.
really helpful to know. Another great option is universities offering visiting researcher
Mhm.
positions. Some universities have specific programs inviting students, IMGs, or foreign scholars to join research teams. For
Yeah.
instance, universities like Harvard, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins, UT Health, for that matter, often have visiting scholar programs where you can collaborate with faculty on ongoing research projects. It's a way to immerse yourself in the US academic system while contributing to value research.
Yes, absolutely. The visiting researcher positions can be excellent in building credibility in the US among the medical community, among the academia, and they offer a great way to network with high profile institutions. They also often don't require the same level of commitment or USMLE clearances as the residency programs would.
What is the difference between a postdoc fellowship and research assistant?
So that's a great question. It's often confused, but there's a difference between them. So, a assistant is usually someone who is still in training, often a student or a graduate or a very early career professional. As an RA, your main role is majorly to support senior researchers, and this can involve tasks like collecting data, conducting research, literature reviews, or helping with some experiments. It's a great way to gain hands-on experience in research, but your responsibilities would most likely be focused on assisting rather than leading your own project. On the other hand, a postdoc is a step further in your career, typically after you've completed your PhD or MD. I think MD in our case. So in a postdoc role, you're much more independent while you still work under the guidance of your PI. You're expected to lead your own research projects, publish papers, present your findings at national conferences. I think it's a critical step if you want to build up a career in academia or advanced research. So, in short, RA is more about learning and supporting, while being a postdoc is all about leading and developing your own research skills. I think both the roles are very valuable in different stages of your journey as an IMG, depending on where you are in your career.
So, for those who may not yet be ready for a postdoc or who haven't cleared their USMLEs, that is, the STEP exams, another option
Mhm.
is applying for research assistantships. Could
Yes.
you explain how that works?
Absolutely. So research assistantships are fantastic opportunities for IMGs. These roles can vary from helping with data collection, analysis, or writing manuscripts, or even conducting literature reviews. They're usually more flexible than postdoc positions, and
Mhm.
many a times you don't need to just have your step exams cleared. And these positions are often open to anyone with a strong medical scientific background. One of the best ways to land a research assistantship, I would say, is cold emailing. Many IMGs underestimate the power of simply reaching out to the professors, researchers, or institutions directly.
Mhm.
But I would say look up the researchers who work in the area that interests you and email them asking if they have any kind of opportunities. And I would say just tailor your emails to specifically to their work and demonstrate why you're passionate about that field and highlight any relevant experience that you already have.
Yes, so cold emailing can really work if done thoughtfully. It's
Mhm.
about showing initiative. Do
Yeah.
you have any tips for IMGs on how to craft that email so it doesn't get lost in the sea of other emails?
Absolutely, absolutely. That happens a lot, and it's a problem for many IMGs that their emails is not getting responded to. So I would say that first, keep it very short and to the point. Professors and PIs are extremely busy, so you want your email to be clear but very concise. Start by introducing yourself, mention that you're an IMG, provide a very brief background, and then explain why you're interested in their research, especially how can you contribute and what you bring to the table for their projects. highlight any relevant experience that you already have, whether med school or afterwards, and mention any skills that would be useful in that research setting, like data analysis or manuscript writing. Do not forget to attach your CV, but do not also overwhelm them with too much information in the first email.
Okay.
And if they're interested, I hope they will reply.
So another increasingly popular route for IMGs is pursuing an advanced degree, like a Masters of Public Health, MPH. You have an MPH yourself. Could you share how that has helped your career and why IMGs might consider this path?
Of course. So, getting an MPH, I think, was the most instrumental pivot in my career. It gave me a foundational knowledge to understand public health and population based research, which opened doors to research opportunities that were beyond clinical medicine. So, as an MPH and as an IMG, it helped me build skills in topics like biostatistics, epidemiology, healthcare policy, healthcare administration, making them such valuable assets in the research teams. For an IMG like myself, an MPH can also serve as a way of transitioning into the healthcare system, and many programs often offer the opportunities to participate in ongoing research. So you can network with faculty who are already established researchers, and it's also a degree that holds weight if you want to focus on preventive medicine, global health, or even healthcare administration.
Now, let's say an IMG tries a postdoc, applies for research assistantships, cold emails, professors, and still doesn't find an opportunity. What next? Is there another way to get involved in research?
That's a very common problem that us as IMGs face. But do not lose your heart. That's a great, great question, and I'm glad that you brought it up. Even if none of the option works out, you can still publish independently. There are several journals out there with minimal or no fee for submission. And many IMGs don't realize that they can send in their review articles or literature reviews to respected journals without incurring high costs. And it's a great way to get published, start building your research profile. So that's a great, great, great opportunity there.
Exactly. And for those IMGs who may not be familiar with it, learning how to perform meta analysis or systematic reviews can be a powerful skill. By learning these methods, you can collect data from existing research and produce high quality publications.
Yes.
You don't necessarily need to be part of a large clinical trial or research project to publish.
That's so right, and that's so correct at all points. With all the right tools, you can conduct meta-analysis, systemic reviews on your own, and there are a plenty of free resources, softwares available to get you started. Once you have the skills to analyze and synthesize data from multiple studies, you can become a valuable contributor to the field, and voila, you're just researching and publishing on your own terms now.
Well, you have given our listeners such valuable insights today, from postdoc fellowships and research assistantships to visiting scholar programs and independent publishing. There are clearly multiple pathways into research for IMGs. Dr. Soni, thank you so much for sharing your journey and advice. Do you have any take home points to our listeners?
So it was a pleasure for me to share my journey, and I hope it helps other IMGs who are looking for ways to expand their career opportunities in the US. My only advice to my fellow IMGs is to embrace your own unique path, seek out mentorship, talk to as many people as you can, stay open to opportunities, and the road may be very tough, but every steps bring you closer to your goals.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, remember, persistence, passion, and strategy will get you far. If research is something you're interested in, don't hesitate to explore these options and take action. And
Absolutely.
again, this was a very great topic and very important for many IMGs. And I'm sure Dr. Soni has provided valuable insights into this. And again, this is one more episode of WTF, We Talk Facts. Until next episode, keep tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.